Hi everyone, Baron here. Wait a second. What in the world is that? It's not nice, it's just Kirby. Today I decided to do something a little bit different. I'm using my webcam to record instead. I wanted to talk about Undertale, but honestly I've been thinking about a couple days just how to frame it. What I'm about to say has no major spoilers to Undertale, but I'm not sure if anything in this might be considered minor spoilers, so here's a heads up. Let me give you a second. You ready? Good. So what is Undertale? It's an Earthbound-inspired video game with relatively simple graphics, and it borrows elements from genres like RPGs and bullet hells, or some call it a shoot-'em-up instead, because honestly it's not that hellish. So that's the concept, but what is Undertale? Short answer, it's good. But why? That's something I really can't say. What is good is subjective to different people. It has a dedicated fan base, and I feel that part of that is because it does have that feel similar to Earthbound, and it also has a very dedicated fan base. But unfortunately, I really can't speak for everyone, because there are a lot of different reasons that someone would say why Undertale is good. Is the story good? Yes. Are the characters good? Yes. Is the music good? Yes. Is the gameplay good? Yes. Well, okay, it's not everyone's bag. It's funny, lighthearted, and whimsical, while also being dark and eerie and creepy all at the same time. The way Dodger describes it is a cake made of all of your favorite things, but that cake is frosted with a whole lot of stuff that just makes you feel uncomfortable. If you were to ask me if either story or gameplay makes Undertale, I'd tell you neither, because they are both so well incorporated that that's how they tell their narrative. Which actually leads me to my next point. What is Undertale? Undertale is meta. It has this large meta-narrative about how games are made and how players play games. It talks about concepts like save points and the UI, which are made strictly for the player's sake, but those actually end up having a role in the overall narrative. You see, Undertale's actually aware that it's a program. It not only makes rules for it to follow by, but then it subsequently just breaks those rules. A lot of the fights do follow the mechanics that they create, and even though a lot of the fights are different, some literally do just do things that don't exist for the most of the game. Things like the box that you move in change size, or bullets going from the inside to the out or from outside to back in. They pretty much leave as they please. Want to know what else Undertale is? It's daring. I guess what I mean is that Toby decided to do things that most game developers just wouldn't do. Things like locking content behind specific choices. And it also isn't really made to appeal to every person. It's not trying to be everyone's favorite game. It's not trying to be something that everyone would love. It's not one of those games where you're trying to broaden the demographic, trying to get as many people in as possible. It's also not trying to shove a whole lot of stuff in your face. In all honesty, what makes Undertale so good is that any point you can say why it's good is also a reason why someone can say they don't like Undertale. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. If someone like Total Biscuit, who is very cynical, who has seen it all before, says he was literally surprised consistently by this game, and also got invested, which, mind you, the details of his job, meaning he shouldn't get invested in characters or story, I do think that does say something. Jesse Cox. He admitted that he really didn't care for the game that much. But he also said that he believes that people should at least play Undertale, even if you don't think it's going to appeal to you. And I agree with this fully. You see, it's either you end up loving Undertale, or you end up just not. You might decide you want to play it like 4 times. Or maybe you're just bored about an hour in. Or maybe you quit about 10 minutes. And you know what? That's okay too. So even though I left out a number of things, I should really wrap this up around here, because I can go on for hours. To me, I love the world. I love the characters. I love how meta it is and how it addresses things outside of itself. Most of all, I love that Undertale is going to have an impact. And it will have an impact on games. Be sure of that. Most indie games, hell, even most AAA games, they are lucky if they are relevant about a month after their release. Even after the fan hype dries, it will still be on some people's minds in one way or another. And most importantly, I love Undertale because it interacts with you as much as you interact with it. If you agree or if you disagree, you can go and vote with the little buttons, or you can go talk about it in the comments. So with that said, thank you everyone. Baron out. Also, stay determined. And don't forget Temmie.